Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. Betty Beasley, age 75 of Sylacauga, died Saturday, May 1st. Graveside service is slated for today at Rocky Mount Cemetery at 2 o'clock. Visitation at Curtis and Son North Chapel before the service from 1 until 1:30. Online condolences at curtisandsonfh.com. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, directing. Funeral service for Margaret Ann Dunham, age 80, will be Thursday at 11 a.m. from the chapel of Radley Funeral Home in Alexander City. Burial in the Smyrna Cemetery. The family receiving friends Thursday, 9:30 to 10:30 at the funeral home. Mrs. Dunham died Sunday, May 2nd at her residence. Online condolences at radleyfuneralhome.com. Radley Funeral Home, Alexander City, directing. Funeral service for Mrs. Jean Hayes, age 86 of Kellyton, is today at 2 p.m. from Kellyton Baptist Church with Brother Jeff Hardy and Brother Vern Ogle officiating. Burial in the Kellyton Memory Garden. The family will receive friends at the church today from noon until 1:30. Mrs. Hayes died April 30th at Chapman Healthcare Center in Alexander City. She was a member of the Kellyton Baptist Church. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at radleyfuneralhome.com. Radley Funeral Home, directing. Eddie B. Stewart, age 73, died April 30th. Funeral service will be 2 o'clock Thursday at Ursery Funeral Home Chapel in Talladega, with burial in the Eastaboga Baptist Church Cemetery. Ray Camp will officiate the service. The family will receive friends tonight, 5 until 7 o'clock at the funeral home. Ursery Funeral Home, Talladega, directing. Funeral service for Eddie Stewart will be 2 o'clock Thursday at Ursery Funeral Home Chapel in Talladega. Visitation is tonight, 5 till 7 o'clock at the Chapel of Ursery Funeral Home in Talladega. Francis Moore Vincent died April the 27th. Memorial service will be held at Ursery Funeral Home in Pell City on May the 15th at 2 o'clock. Visitation begins at 1. In lieu of flowers, memorial gifts may be sent to Compassus Hospice in Southside, Alabama. Ursery Funeral Home, Pell City, directing. Graveside service for James Jim Braswell Jr., age 72 of Sylacauga, is Friday at 2 o'clock from Fayetteville Methodist Church with the Reverend Michael Price officiating. Mr. Braswell died Monday, May 3rd at his residence. Radley Smith Funeral Home in Sylacauga, directing. Mr. Braswell owned and operated Braswell Electric for some 33 years. Homegoing celebration remembering the life of Brian Prothro, age 42 of Ashland, is today at 1 o'clock from S.M. Goodson Funeral Home Chapel. S.M. Goodson Funeral Home and Crematory, directing. Mr. Joe Terry Shaw, age 74, died April 30th. Celebration of life will be today at 1 o'clock. Visitation 1 hour prior to the service at Victory Harbor Lighthouse Church in Sylacauga. The Reverend Wayne Fowler will officiate. Interment in the Holland Cemetery in Goodwater. Zion Memorial Funeral Home will direct that service. And funeral service for Mrs. Mary Ann Benton Tuck will be 11 o'clock today at Wright's Funeral Home, with interment following in the Macedonia Primitive Baptist Church Cemetery. And Wright's Funeral Home in Alexander City in charge of those arrangements. This obituary report this morning brought to you by Curtis and Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. For pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975, Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.